All right, Ellie. Have fun.
Oh my gosh, the dogs are like, oh my
gosh.
god. Hang on, while I put her in and start my car up. It's gonna be hot.
Bye-bye. You going to go get checked on. You just ain't right for some reason. Just starving. Just starving like Marvin.
I'll give y'all the deets on what's going down with Alley Cat. But it's, I mean, it's nothing like, hopefully nothing too crazy, but just something that's kind of
literally a bottomless pit
come up over
in
the
her
past
old age.
couple months. One of those things you think like, I mean, it's probably fine. She's just being crazy. And then the more that you think about it, you're like, I wish you get you checked out, girl, because you ain't right.
I'm going to get a little blood work probably, see what's going on.
Yes.
We've been giving her wet food too recently because she has literally been eating non-stop and won't stop. Every morning, it's like a daggum alarm clock. Every time you walk in the kitchen, alarm clock. Smell all the smells. Bye-bye. Be sweet, okay?
All right, Alley Cat. I know this isn't your favorite place to be. You gonna be okay though? You gonna be okay? She's like, get me the heck out of here. All right, we are back home. I'll let this little girl out of her cage, and she is probably going to hiss at everybody for the next few days. Okay, so what they said was that based on her symptoms, it sounds classically like hyperthyroidism, which is very common in older cats. The appetite, they also asked, has she been more vocal? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. We are constantly like, shut up. Like, why are you meowing at me so much? Can't walk past her without her meowing. She's like, somebody get me somewhere where I can like get some water or something to eat or something. They're concerned about that. They took blood to test for it and make sure that that's what it was. She's like, what is she doing? Is she okay? Maybe that's from where they took the blood and she's like having to lick it off. She is not happy about it. Bless her little heart. So they had to take blood from her, which I know wasn't fun for her. And then they said that they were gonna try to get urine from her too, like a urine sample to have tested, which I don't know how they do that, but I'm sure that's not fun. And then she has this little spot under her chin. I don't know if I've ever like vlogged about it or shown it, but it's basically like, it's not red, it's not swollen. It's just this spot that, she's like, get off me. It's just this little spot under her chin that first I noticed, like I thought she had some dried food, like she'd gotten some food under her chin. And so I tried to get it off, but it wouldn't come off. And so eventually like it just kept growing and getting longer. And I realized that it was like the hair being matted from something like oozing maybe, like it was never wet, it was never like an oozy sore, but it was just like the dried crusties would get caught in the hair. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Anyways, they said that that could be due to some type of like a little place she had scratched that got infected or something. And so they gave her an antibiotic shot for that. So that might also be what she's looking at. They were so confident that it is the hyperthyroidism that they went ahead and gave me the medication for it and said, just don't give it to her until they call and confirm, but that they would be calling to confirm probably tomorrow. So let's see if my whole family is coming inside. Are y'all coming inside or are we leaving? Hold on, everybody just came in the door from school, so just give me a minute, I'll be back and finish my story.
Update on Allie.
She's finally chilled out. She was ticked
Her
about
eyes
that
are
earlier.
hardly shut.
She's had a whole nother wet food patty.
And she's been begging for chicken off of the counter, so.
Yeah, we had a rotisserie over there that I was picking off of, putting in some pasta salad, and look at how sweet. She is just purring up a storm. Oh, Ada's like, hey, can you pet me? Can you pet me?
I mean, Gaines' daughter is in this trance of just like, she just, look at her
Her
little
ears
eyes.
keep
Oh,
twitching.
how cute.
We should hear tomorrow or the next day about her results, and then we will go from there.
It's a medication that we use to treat UTIs pretty regularly. So kind of killed two birds with one stone with that. But she is SIV positive.
And what does that mean?
So that's feline AIDS. And so, so her immune system is compromised. We typically get it from, fighting with other cats that are infected. It's like when they bite each other, it's transmitted. It is something that she could potentially pass on to your other cat. But most of these guys live a fairly normal life. We just need to be mindful, and it might make getting this UTI cleared a little more difficult.
Okay, I'm just wondering how she might have gotten that. She's an indoor cat.
Has been her whole
so,
life.
And it might be something that she's had since she was a kitten. Sometimes it's passed on from their mom.
Huh, okay. I think we had blood work done in the past. I mean, there was one time she got out of the house for a couple days, a couple years ago, but other than that, I mean, she is literally inside all the time. Is that something that like requires treatment, or just something she lives with? Or
it's gonna be something that she's gonna live with. And like I said, it's gonna make her immune system weaker, and so it's just something to be mindful of. And again, we might pass it to the other cat in the house.
is there any way to prevent that, or is it just
Like they play, but they don't like.
They used to make a vaccine for it. The problem was that once they were vaccinated with it, they would show up as FIV positive, and so a lot of cats were being euthanized. Like if they were found as strays and stuff, when they would be tested for it.
Okay.
So a lot of people quit vaccinating for it, and I don't even know if they make the vaccine anymore.
okay? I was gonna say, I wonder if she has had that vaccine since she's 16. So I mean, she's been getting vaccines for a long time. Would that be something that would have made?
I mean, that very well could be the case, that she got the vaccine when she was young.
Okay, so and the antibiotic will treat, or hopefully is gonna treat the UTI, and then we need to start the thyroid medicine.
Correct. And she does have some signs of kidney disease. Her levels are at high end of normal, and so like we discussed yesterday, once we get our thyroid figured out and regulated, we might see these values go up even more. So putting her on a kidney diet, is probably going to be the next step with her.
What would that be? What's the best option for that?
KD, Best Science Diet. There's like a Purina version, and they are prescription diets though, so something that we would have to write you a prescription for, or you can pick up the KD here. It's low in protein quantity, but it has very high quality, and the proteins in the diet are kind of what damages the kidneys. Less salt in it and things like that to help keep our kidneys happy.
Is it wet food?
Okay. And is it something that would be a wet food or a dry food, or
There's both. So it's, if she eats wet food better than dry food, there's definitely a wet food option. Some people mix them because we want to keep her well hydrated, and there's so much moisture in the canned food that it helps keep our kidneys flush. I would go ahead and start it now, to be honest, since we're on the high end of normal and stuff. I can have some waiting for you. Do you know if you want the dry or the canned?
We might do both. Just she does prefer the wet food, but sometimes it just upsets her stomach.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Well,
That's crazy.
now I'm wondering how long she's had this UTI for, because she had an issue with when we were out of town, when we went to the beach. When was it? With like Jenny and Nate, or was it the beach trip before that? And it was after we came back. There was a couple days that we saw like a couple drops of blood on the floor outside the litter box. It happened like once or twice, and I was like gonna call the vet the next morning, and then didn't see it anymore. It didn't happen again. I was Googling about it. It said it could be from like urinary tract infection, but if that was the case, they would be like exhibiting signs of pain and all this stuff, but that it could also just be from stress. And so I was like, well, maybe it was just stress.
Plus, we weren't exactly sure if it was her or Whitaker.
That's true. Whatever, regardless, it was something that was like literally for a day or two. And I know you might be being like, your cat, that seems pretty urgent, you should call the vet. But literally, like, everything that I was looking at was like, you know, if it's something that's a problem, it's going to continue, and it just didn't happen again. So
you were, I think, determined that it was Whitaker, though.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that
because he was walking around going "Meow," like nonstop, like he was in pain.
Yeah.
And we read online that urinary tract infection causes pain, and he was literally just meowing for no reason, in the middle of the night and everything. And we're like, it's got to be Whitaker. But
and then
we're
it
like,
literally stopped.
It's got to be Allie because she's older and she's more susceptible.
So I wonder, certainly she hasn't had a UTI since then. I hope not. Something I didn't tell you that is what she was talking about in the phone call was that once they start taking the thyroid medication, a lot of times the thyroid condition has somehow like covered up a kidney problem. So like once the thyroid starts getting better, then you'll see the kidney numbers like get worse.
That's why she suggested the food.
Right, that's why she suggested the food. And she said that Allie's kidney numbers are already bad. So like I'm almost kind of worried like starting to treat the thyroid is going to actually make her...
It's going to be a round of carousel.
Yeah, going to be one of those things that like now everything starts going bad. But
this is what always seems to happen. Like you take them to the vet one time and then it's like a waterfall of...
You drive me crazy with that. Like literally, this is why I haven't taken her for 2 months, and she should have gone a long time ago.
I'm not saying that. It's
because
just
you're
always
like, she's close fine, and if you take her, they're gonna say there's something wrong with her, and there's gonna be something else wrong with her.
Well, you just said that.
Well, but not just because I take her to the vet. Like it's not the vet's fault.
It needs to be treated. No, totally.
But it's not the vet's fault that she has something wrong with her.
No, totally not.
I know,
That's just like life in general. That's how it always goes.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
So I guess we'll start on the treatment for this. I started a vlog yesterday about it because it was like kind of emotional coming out of actually going into the vet. I was like getting a little bit emotional about it, but then I had to rush home because we were taking Brooks to get his haircut and everything, and just didn't even get a chance to like think straight about it. But it's just a weird thing because it's like she's old, you know, like
part of your life.
Yeah. I don't want to cry or anything right now after I just did my makeup a little bit ago, but I don't know. It was just hard taking her in there and thinking about all the stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because she's literally never had problems in her life. I'm like,
never.
There's a random thing here and there, but that's it that she's had. Like she's never had any problems. And then when I was Googling about the thyroid stuff, it's apparently pretty common in cats, and it's something that they can live with. And it was like, you know, with treatment your cat can live 3 to 5 healthy years. And then but then you look up like the life expectancy, or it popped up, I wasn't necessarily looking, the life expectancy for a house cat, and it was like 2 to 16 years. I was like, okay, she's 16 now, so like I don't even really expect 3 to 5 more years. And then there was like a guy in there with an older dog, and I was like, geez Louise, all of our pets are old. Whitaker's 13, Allie's 16, and Ada and Emma are both 10, which like for dogs and cats, those are old ages.
Yeah, it is.
And they just run around here like nothing, so.
I just edited in this video and you could just tell Gaines, she's just like, there's Whitaker, he's my buddy, I love him. And I just had that same thought of like, oh God. The day's gonna come, you know? Oh, that's the worst.
I know. I'm really, like, I wasn't worried really at first when she first told me about the thyroid thing, because it was like, you know, this is treatable. It's really common in cats, and you just give them some medicine, which is a pain, and it costs money, and the food I know is gonna be freaking expensive. I was like, well, it's fine. We'll treat it, and then she'll live her life. But then knowing, like, the kidney stuff, that for one, she already has some kidney issues, and for two, that once you start treating the thyroid problem, the kidney problems can get worse. It's just like, I don't know, I'm just afraid it's just one of those things. It's like this happened and then things got worse and went downhill. And that's not a positive like thought process to have, and it may not go that way. It's just scary like that, you know?
Yeah. I'm glad that we've been giving her all the wet food and like letting her live her life.
I'm like, dang, I feel bad making that real now. I'm like, yeah, she was hungry. Quit acting like you're hungry, you're not hungry.
Yeah. It's deceiving. It's deceiving because she's like literally acting like reverting back to a kitten lately.
That was one of the symptoms.
That's one of the symptoms. And so it's like, she's actually doing better than I thought she was. You know? And then it's actually, bad.
Yeah.
But it's hard because you're like, oh, this is the Baby alley cat.
Yeah.
She's like
Well,
more
but
wild
she's
than Whitaker.
also always been crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, when would this have started? I have no idea. I do wish that I had gotten blood work for her back when I took her. I took her for her, like, her checkup in January. She was fine. Like, everything was checked out good. And she was like, she seems so healthy. We do recommend doing blood work. She had something else done, that like shots and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I just hate to put her through something else. So like, it's fine. We just will wait and do it later. Kind of wish I had, because then, you know, we might have known sooner. But who knows? Maybe she didn't have the issue then.
Yeah, that's true too. Who knows? This may all fix.
It may be
It
fine.
may work out.
Yeah.
And it's just inevitable, obviously, because she's so old and at that age. But like, as far as like just making sure she's happy and doing her thing right now is all we gotta think about. Where is she?
Let's go just look at her because she's cute, so I can cry more.
Like, seriously, how cute is that? She got her face all wadded up under there, and her like front leg coming out behind the back leg. And you happy over there too? In your little tiny bed, the big bed, and the little dog's in it, and the little bed, and the big dog's in it. We got all these wild animals just living with us.
Animal folks.
Oh, hello. She said, why are you messing with me? Are you a good girl? You a good girl? Yes, okay.
This is the medicine she's taking. If anybody else deals with this or has dealt with this, y'all let me know. Don't tell me bad things. Oh man. Okay. Okay. I hadn't cried about this. I about cried yesterday, and then everything happened with Brooks and his haircut. Stay tuned for that. That video is coming up. It's adorable, but okay, what is this even called? Let's see. Methimazole. She takes it twice a day. You've had a cat who's had this, know anything about it, or like the food, like give me some tips on the food, the kidney diet stuff, because I know that like the stuff that they carry at the vet is really expensive. If it's gonna be helpful for her, then whatever, I don't care, we'll get it. But it sounded like there may be some other options. I didn't really understand what she's talking about a prescription and having to have a prescription for the other stuff. Y'all let me know your thoughts, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll keep y'all posted on Alley Cat. And we will see what I do. Bye.